Hi, I'm a victorious veganista, and today I'm going to show you something really interesting. It's the Middle Eastern dish that I transformed it to vegan Kibbeh. It's very well known and famous, and people love the Kibbeh back home. They eat it for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, with many other dishes, for weddings, parties. It's always there for the events. So I already mixed my wheat and the spices that goes with it according to my recipes, and I put it into the food processor to process for a few minutes, and then we'll talk about that later. I'll show you in the recipes how many minutes you need to do this. After I process this is the consistency that we need. You see it? Some people do it in the meat grinder. Okay, look at this. And I still have to work on it. But you have to put it in here, mix it with the onions and the mint and all my spices, and chop it here, process it here. Like if you fill it to here, probably 3-4 minutes, and keep stirring it, use your spatula to mix it, and then close it and start again. So for this much, it took me four loads of this, and each load about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay? And that would make it really nice. So now, after I process it in the food processor, and with all my spices that goes with the Kibbeh dough, as you see in the recipe, I have put it here, see? And I see that it is too dry and kind of too flaky still. So while you processing, you could add more water. But always don't put too much. It's better to add them now than have too much. So I'm gonna go like this. See, this is almost half a cup is gone already. I already feel it. See, you have to do this and mix it and do this and mix it. And for the taste and the texture also, I like to add just like a couple of spoons of my pine nuts oil that I roasted the nuts in it. And I can tell I need more water. So I'm going to continue doing this until the consistency would be, let me show you. It sticks to your fingers, so clean your fingers a little bit. See, it is really beautiful. I can make the hole, and I could stuff it if I want, or I can make the tray. See the consistency here? Look, again. There it is. This is really nice. So I'm going to continue mixing it and adding a little bit more water until I get all of it the same. Okay, now after I mixed everything, as I told you, I always taste. I don't put too much, I put less. For the reason that you could fix it later. So I noticed that I need more of peppers in it. So this is the pepper paste that I love, this pepper paste, and it's hot. So usually I use the mild, and I use this. This time I'm not going to use it because this is hot enough. So 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more, as you see, in this, and I'll mix it again, and then we'll be ready to spread it in the pan. Okay, now I'm going to show you another way to eat this. This is not cooked, so I put some of the Kibbeh in the plate. I put some of the mix here with the pine nuts and extra lemon in case people like to squeeze more lemon on it. And this actually is a whole meal for a person that you can serve it with salad or with salad and yogurt, whatever they like. And then look at that. And then no meat in this. Who said you need meat to have amazing Kibbeh? Because the Middle Eastern Kibbeh has meat in here instead of the mushroom in the stuffing, and in the dough to hold it when you want to fry it. So I am not going to fry it, I'm just going to bake my Kibbeh. So now, I already oiled the tray. Make sure you oil the edges so it won't stick to the edges when you bake it. And I made a bowl like this. It depends, we'll see what we need. Okay, so I made it 5 sections, because for 2 trays I'm gonna need 4 sections, right? And so the 5th one will be for adding here and there to get the right thickness. So you keep doing this until you get nice, smooth filling here, base. And then we're gonna put the mushroom mix on the top. And I put my hands in water, that helps me spread it easier. I try not to have real thick base. I like it thin. But some people like more of the base, so I like it thinner and more of the filling. So see how you do the edges as you go, and I will show you the final results after I finish it. Okay, now I spread my base. As you see, I lift edges up here, okay? And I'll smooth it a little bit, and I try to make it as thin as I can, but there is, limit to how thin you can have it. I like to have my filling, the mix, the mushroom and onions, thick. That will give you an amazing taste, okay? So I don't know how much. I keep just adding until I see maybe like half an inch, because you still have to add the top on it, the Kibbeh base. So you have to put a layer of that on the top, and then we're going to spread our pine nuts. And make sure when you toast the pine nuts, as you toasting them with the oil, you keep stirring and don't get dark color, get very light color, because it cooked more as it's sitting with a hot oil. So just pay attention to that always when you roast pine nuts or almonds or anything like that. So this is really a good meal. It's real food. It's all, from the farm, onions, mushrooms. It's good for you. There is no meat here, but it is amazingly delicious, and you can be proud of serving this to your vegan family and friends. And this might turn somebody into a vegan as they taste this, because this has helped a lot of people realize that vegan food is not just 4 or 5 items, and it's not just 5-6 minutes. It takes time, but it's really worth it to make this, and it's very healthy too. So right now I'm going to sprinkle some of this, because I love pine nuts. Even if I put some with when I mixed it, I like pine nuts because it's good for you and it gives that distinct taste. So you need to spread it really good. And then we're gonna put a layer of this on the top, and I'll show you how it looks like. It's kind of tricky to do that, but let me show you part of it. You put your hands, again, that's why I have the water here. I have a lot of the wheat in that cup, but that's okay. So you're going to do like this, or you could put it in parchment paper with oil and press it hard on the parchment paper and bring the parchment paper. So now you see, you press it as thin as you can. And it takes time, I have to admit, and patience. So if you have time and patience like myself, I am gladly doing this, you see? And then you do a little water, you spread it, you get it where you want, and on until you get the whole thing covered and nice and smooth with this at the end. So here we go, and I'll come back to you when I finish the whole top. Okay, now as you see, after I cover the top with another layer of the Kibbeh, okay, you clean and smooth the edges like this. You press, not hard, you just press it, okay, like that. And you could use spatula, but I always like to use my hands, because when I feel it, I can feel the taste of this, and I can feel the looks even more than just seeing it. It's just like goes down to my heart when I use my hands when I cook. So you go like this, and I'm going to show you how to cut it. Okay, I usually also sometimes use a round trays like this, and it'll make different designs. So I will put one of those round trays in the pictures of the recipe, and you could do a round tray or a long tray. This is my favorite because I make a lot and I freeze it. So they stack, once I freeze it and it's frozen, I can stack 3-4 over each other, in the freezer without messing it up. So first I'll put that in the freezer by itself, nothing over it, if I want to freeze it. So usually I make 4 and 5. Sometimes I take a tray to my friends, sometimes we have gatherings. So you see, this looks amazing. This looks, the colors, the pepper. I mean, I'm in love with this one. So this is ready to be baked, and I bake this on preheated oven on 450. And if you don't want to use your hands, you could do this also, but you see, I like my hands. So I go back to my hands, and this is ready to be cut. So let me cut it and I'll show you the final shape. So now you see I cut part of it. So to show you how to cut it, I went first this way, and don't cut all the way through, just to mark, to give it the looks. Okay, then after you cook it, then you will cook all the way down to cut it for and serve it. Okay, so I went all the way this way, try to make it all even, and just a little bit like this, not too deep. Okay, so, and then I started from here and I go like that, and I went this way. So look how pretty it is, and then continued there, and now I keep putting some water on my knife so it will not stick. Here we go again, like this, see it? Just a little bit, press a little bit, and continue. And if you notice, it comes like the edge almost, to make him all even, almost that way. That's it. And this is ready to bake on 450 preheated oven for about between 35 to 45 minutes. I cannot tell you exactly how much because every oven is different, but you will see the edges start getting brown and kind of shrinking a little bit. That's and the top medium brown, and that's when you know it's done. So as you see here, I saved the oil from the roasting the pine nuts, and I just sprinkled some on the top. Okay, that gives it that nice taste of the pine nuts, and it helps it brown more. So I baked it for 50 minutes on the roast setting. But if you don't have the roast setting, you could do bake first in the middle rack, and then you could brown the top. But make sure you watch it and stay there so you won't burn it on the broil, okay? And it's ready, 50 minutes to bake. I got it, you know, you could freeze it and get it out of the freezer 4 or 5 hours prior to baking, and do that. It's delicious, actually, even more when it comes out of the freezer.